Hi, I'm picking up for the second half of the Ionic Bonding Practice, and to do that, you may need to finish your guided notes. Okay, if we did them together in class, skip past this part until you see the Jamboard popping up on my screen. But for those of you who are doing this online, you may need to see the notes as well. We can use electron dot structures. Those are the things we've been practicing in part 1 to draw transfer diagrams to predict what ionic compound will form. Here's an example. You see Na and Cl. There's the dot structure of each, and there's an arrow leading away from the electron on sodium towards the hole or open area that's still available for an electron on chlorine. Steps. Draw the dot structure for one atom of each element. Here I've drawn magnesium and chlorine. Circle the electrons that should leave. Those are where the cation is forming. And the holes where the electrons should go. That's where the anion is going to form. So see, on magnesium, I have 2 that need to leave. And on chlorine, I have 1 hole. Draw an arrow from each leaving electron to the hole on the other atom where it goes. So I draw an arrow from one of magnesium's electrons to the hole on chlorine, but one's left over. Bummer. If the numbers don't match, add more atoms. So it does. So see, my magnesium still had 1 to give, but this chlorine was all filled up. So we got a second chlorine and put a dot structure for it. And look at that. Now it's balanced. I can tell from this that the magnesium needs to bond with 2 chlorine atoms so that everyone's octets are satisfied and nothing is left over. Some helpful hints. Any atom with 1, 2, or 3 electrons that are all unpaired will lose those, so circle them. An atom with 5, 6, or 7 electrons will fill the spots next to its unpaired electrons, like the spot next to the unpaired electron in chlorine. So circle those holes. When you solve problems like this on a Jamboard, start near the middle so that if you need to add more atoms, you have room wherever you might need them. And if it's hard to draw an arrow, like you're going to have to draw through something, just move the atoms around so that it's easier to draw. All right, and then I ask you to kind of sum up what seemed important from these guided notes before you turn them in. All right, you may need to pause while you open it up, but now we're going into the Jamboard. Okay, and the ionic bond transfer diagrams start at slide 5. You see that you have a set of those instructions from the guided notes right in here again. Let's do this out on the next slide. Draw the dot structure for one atom of each element. So I've done that with magnesium and oxygen. It tells me to do step 2 and 3, and I left a clue here that step 4 isn't needed. So circle the electrons that should leave and the holes where the electrons should go. Then we're going to draw an arrow from each leaving electron to the hole where it goes. Okay, so I'm going to circle my electrons that should leave. Those are going to form a cation. There's 2. Magnesium's going to get rid of its 2 electrons. Okay, and I see a hole here where an electron could go. And I see a hole here where an electron could go. Now I'm going to go ahead and make an arrow. That goes there. And that goes there. Okay, and we don't need to add any more atoms. You'll see that on some of the other examples, you might need multiple of one of the atoms to match up with the other atom. Sometimes I've told you that. Sometimes I've set it aside for you to create. And sometimes it's totally up to you to figure out if you need more of something. Okay, please check the Schoology page for details about which parts of the assignment need to be done when. I've created this video with the intention that it's reusable. Okay, so check Schoology for those details. Have a wonderful day. Bye now.